We've hit August. You know what that means. We are officially in football season. Hello and welcome to this episode of the Duke Football Talk Section 17 podcast. I'm your host, Brian Kennedy, alongside my co-host, as always, Josh Cox. Let's see if I can get the finger going right this time. Scott Medlin and Jamie Holt. Hey, we're off to a great start. And we have another great episode for you as we kick off the 2025 Duke Football Talk podcast season. Now, of course, we're a couple of weeks away from kickoff with Elon. So before the season starts, you know what we have to do. We have to give our season predictions on who we think the team will be led by in certain categories. But there's a big change for this season. Josh, do you want to explain what's going on with the change? I don't want to take up all the talking points here. I'll let you go ahead and explain it.
Okay, yeah. So we wanted to switch some things up, and that's, by the way, that's kind of a theme heading into this season. We're going to do things a little bit differently, which I think you guys are going to really enjoy. But specifically for the season predictions, we have come up with what we collectively, as a unit, believe will be the season predictions for stats. And so we're going to ask you to see if you can beat us. And if you beat us, the one that beats us the best, right, the most, and the one who wins, your prize, you'll find out at the end of this, is better than any prize we've ever done. And so the prize stakes are up. We're asking you to beat us. We've put our heads together with all of the intel that we have and future prediction that we have. And we have a collective stat prediction. And so here's the thing. At the end of the day, we're going to go have steak at the end of the year, no matter what. And so it doesn't really matter on that part. And we'll let Jamie just go down in history as the guy who has won the free steaks more often than the rest of us.
They changed the contest just because of me. Like, I can't turn the genius off. I'm sorry. I can't.
If we're being honest, though, Jamie was playing that whole Price is Right, dollar more than the best number every year, even when we try to. I don't have an answer yet. Y'all all go, and then I'll have one, and then Jamie would answer. So that's how he won all the time.
What
was that?
I think that was the Price is Right.
That was the Price is Right.
Oh, okay.
Price is wrong, Bobber.
And we're off. A great start to the 2025.
Speaking, I mean, shout out the Bob Barker cameo. Rest in peace there, and Happy Gilmore too. So yeah, that's not what this pod's about, but hey, shout out to him. But yeah, Jamie's the guy. I'd be like, yeah, I think it's going to be Jordan Moore with 747 receiving yards, and Jamie's like, I think it's going to be Jordan Moore with 743 receiving yards. So that's
he's
how
laughing
he won it,
because
folks.
He knows it's true.
Yep.
Nothing to say. This is your final year to give a thanks to everyone that helped you get to where you were at.
I just want to thank the little people to where I've gotten to where I've gotten,
All I'll say is if we lose to someone, Jamie, we should win this thing. I'm blaming you. I mean, we're all riding your back, your shoulders, your coattails. So we better get close on some of these.
And Brian's not joking. In true form, Jamie probably gave the least feedback when we were going through those lists. So the rest of us were talkative, and Jamie's kind of chilling.
I mean, in all honesty, I cheated to win.
Let's be real.
I
cheat. Yeah.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Eddie Guerrero, for those wrestling fans out there. So same breakdown as we've done in years past. We're going to go through. We're going to give who we think is going to lead the team in passing, touchdowns. Let's try this again. First episode of the season: passing yards, passing touchdowns, rushing yards, rushing touchdowns, receptions, receiving yards, receiving TDs, interception, tackles, and sacks on the defensive side. We've actually added one this year to honor the kicking game. We haven't done that in years past. An over-under for Todd Polino, the Todd father. We'll get to that. Our overall record collectively as a team, and who we think is going to win, or we're going to have wins and losses against. And, of course, we have side bets at the end. So let's just go ahead and get rolling. Let's just get started. Passing yards, passing touchdowns. Fellas, I think I speak for all of us when I say this is probably the first year in 2 or 3 years where there's no quarterback controversy. We know who's going to be under center. It's going to be Darian Mensah. but we've got to give our numbers and we've got to give our thoughts on where we think he will land at the end of the season. And to preface everyone, we're talking stats at up until the end of the year. So games 1 to 12. This does not include bowl game if Duke goes to a bowl game. So
This does not include the ACC championship game
that
and
too.
the bowl game.
When
game.
Duke is in the ACC championship game.
That's right.
Already giving a little hint of where we think this team's going to be. Let's get going. Who wants to start with passing yards? We know it's going to be Darian, but we just don't know the number, or we have the number and we're going to give it. So who wants to go?
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take the passing. And by the way, shout out to Coach Diaz for not putting together a fake quarterback battle. Leading into this year, it's Darian. It has been Darian and will be Darian. So we have Darian Mensah TD passes set at 25. That's a couple more than he had last year at Tulane. It's kind of in the ballpark of what Duke had last year under center with Malik Murphy. So we're going to take Darian Mensah at 25. And then for passing yards, we're going 2,900. 2,900 for passing yards. And so you might think we went high on that. You might think we went a little low on that. That's part of the fun. So you can tell us what you think by filling out your form. So
Duke fans, I'm just the stat guy tonight. I'm leading everyone in because I have to self-admit I've not been into this team as much as I should have with outside obligations. However, if Darian Mensah does go for 2,900 yards, let's say he gets close to the Section 17 pick, that will be the 10th best season for a quarterback all time. So that would be a pretty impressive first season at Duke with 2,900 yards.
I had Mensah at 5,000, but I was overruled.
That would beat the record by about 1,200 yards. So I mean, don't get me wrong, that'd be great if he does that, but that would be
That's
very
Heisman right there. Arch who?
Oh God, here we go.
Oh man. And so Jamie's back. In case you guys are new to the Section 17 podcast, it's long been known that Jamie is the obvious fan of the obvious player. So he's a Cam Newton fan for the Panthers. He's a Steve Smith fan for the Panthers. He's a Luke Kuechly fan for the Panthers. He's a Bryce Young fan for the Panthers. Come on, Jamie.
We'll see. Jury's out.
The jury's out. But he's taking the obvious. He was a Riley Leonard fan 2-3 years ago. And so this is the Darian Mensah season, and he is a Darian Mensah fan. I don't blame him.
Keep pouting.
Keep pouting. So we're heading where are we heading next, Brian? We heading to the
let's go to the
stable?
Yeah, let's go to the stable. This is going to be probably the second most unpredictable room to pick this year alongside the wide receivers. So, Scott, do you want to take wide or running backs, I should say, who we think is going to lead the team in both rushing yards as well as rushing TDs? It could be a mixed bag here like it was last year.
Well, the obvious pick would be Jaquez Moore with the most rushing yards. And if he's healthy, we do believe that he is going to have another great season. We're going to pick him at 750 yards rushing. Now, here comes the fun part for everybody at home. We have 8 touchdowns for the leading touchdown getter in the stable. But that's where we're kind of having an issue. We need to talk this through real fast because, I mean, there's way too many options here. I mean, the stable is big. Plus, we got Darian Mensah who could get a couple touchdowns. So we're going to talk this through for everybody real fast. And, hopefully we don't sway your mind to go the same way we go.
So I'll give us the options, and then we can figure out where we're going to head. So obviously Jaquez, and I think with Jaquez, it's all about staying healthy. You saw him two seasons ago as a healthy running back. So if he stays healthy, you have Peyton Jones, who's just waiting for his opportunity. If you remember the Miami game last year, it was a big stage, big game, and he was the guy. And Peyton Jones, and obviously Star Thomas last year took some snaps from him as well. And then you have Anderson Castle. And Anderson Castle brought in from App. He's a grown man. I think he's married. I think he's a married grown man too, if I'm not mistaken, from judging by his social media. He's a grown man. He's a big dude. I believe he's going to be used on some third down, short yardage that could come into play, right, in the red zone for sure. And so you have that. As Scott mentioned, you have Darian Mensah, who he will show that he can use his feet to not only get first downs, but we're hoping touchdowns. And then, I mean, I don't put a ton of stock into this. You guys can if you'd like to. We've been hearing a name that's being floated around by Coach Diaz. Jamie, you want to talk about the true freshman that's being floated around from the stable a little bit?
Nate Shepherd.
Yeah.
Getting some love.
So he's hard to tackle. Is that what he's hard to tackle?
Yeah.
So yeah, what do you guys think? Where are you guys leaning on this?
I was going to say, as far as like Jacquez, like I agree as far as I think leads the team in rushing because I think he has a bounce back year. I look at him as like a home run hitter type running back. I don't think he's going to lead the team in rushing touchdowns. So, and that's nothing personal against Jacquez. Obviously, I love him and I think he's a great player. But I think that it's going to be either Peyton Jones or
Anderson Castle.
There
we go. Hey, look, Jamie's getting old, and we also have transfers every year now. So, any case for Darian Mensah, Brian? Anything in your head?
I think Coach Brewer is going to throw that QB sneak package out there a lot, just to prove the naysayers wrong from last year, because it was the state game that Malik finally did the QB curl after the handoff, and everyone in the stadium, us included, was shocked. I mean, the place went nuts, and it was at state. I could see that working a lot more because last year, after a few games, defenses realized quarterback's not going to run the ball. Stack the box. If they're running, we're gonna stack 8, and we're gonna go right after the running back. So I think just to keep things interesting, I could see Darian getting a lot of scores at the goal line if Duke is down at the goal line. I personally think Darian's going to lead it just because, as we've seen in the past with certain Duke quarterbacks, it could happen. Your Brandon Knetts, especially. Josh, that's your boy. I just think Darian is wanting to prove that he's not just a flash in the pan, that Duke made the right call bringing him in from Tulane. Let's be honest, I could see Darian trying to have a career day down in Baton Rouge September 13th against the Green Wave. I personally want to go with Darian, but again, I'm with the majority, whatever we decide. Anyone else have anyone else? Anyone else have another player that they want to put up for nomination?
I look at it like this. Obviously, I do think Darian's going to see some touchdowns. I do see Jacquez getting some touchdowns. I think you almost have the two Mack trucks. You got Jones and you got Castle. Those two guys are going to, I think, get predominantly the carries at the goal line. I think the third down back is going to be Castle. So for my 2 cents, for what it's worth, I think Castle will be the guy that leads, in my opinion, because just the fact that he has the seniority, number one, but number two, he's played in some big games. He's had some chances. And who knows? This guy may go out there first play, 70-yard touchdown run. We never know.
Look, and I mean, you look at him, he's 6 foot, 220 pounds. Like, that's a big boy. I could see him getting a lot of those 1 to 2 yard touchdowns. 3 yards out. I mean, it's going to be a lot of stuff like that. In my opinion, I agree with Scott. I think.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I just kind of sent a text to an insider, and I said, "Is it a wild take that Anderson Castle could score a significant amount of touchdowns?" And he said, "No, very reasonable, very reasonable." So, I mean, it's a wild card, and I will say, if this is obviously an opening for all of you that are going to try to beat us. This is an obvious opening here because none of us know. It's not a home run. It's not a slam dunk here.
Can I address the elephant in the room, though? And it's just something that I've thought about with this group. Seems like in the last 2 to 3 years, that one player that we all thought was going to stand out, unfortunately, and please, Duke fans, I'm not wishing this on anyone, got taken out by an injury. But then someone took over and shined that we didn't think. I mean, you saw Jacquez went down, and then Starr came in. He had that phenomenal game against UNC. He was probably the biggest reason why the Duke team came back to get the victory bell. If no one gets injured, and so far so good. Let me knock on the desk right here. Yep. If everyone stays healthy, you could consistently rotate people in and out based off of what we're hearing. So just throwing that out there.
Okay, so we got to vote on it. So we're either gonna let's just get it down to we're either gonna go vote the safe way that Brian just said, and we're gonna go like Jaquez is gonna stay healthy. We're gonna go Jaquez, or we're gonna go wild card with Anderson Castle and the fact that he's a bruiser. There's gonna be first and goal at the 4. Anderson Castle's coming in. They're gonna run the ball out the middle a couple times and try to get the ball in. So so we're gonna say raise if we go 2-2 here, I'm gonna be pissed. So raise your hand if it's Jacques Moore. Okay, raise your hand if it's Anderson Castle. Are we in? Okay, Jamie. Oh, there you go. See, we told you guys. We told you Jamie's always the last one. But okay, so we're gonna go Anderson Castle. So fill that one in, Brian. So we have that one done.
I don't know if I spelled his name right.
I will
Sorry.
take credit for that too later. Like I'll take credit for that. Not that Scott. I won't mention that Scott was the one that brought it up. I'll just completely take credit for if he leads the team in touchdowns, or if he doesn't, I'll say it wasn't my fault.
Oh no, I'm gonna blame you. I blame you for everything. Well, Jamie, stay unmuted because you're next because we're going to talk about the wide receiving team. This is probably going to be the biggest toss-up this year for this Duke team. Last year it was pretty cut and dry. At least we thought Jordan Moore, Eli Pankel. But we've got a lot of new faces. We've got a lot of new names. We've seen some highlights in practice. You get excited when you hear some things coming out of scrimmage. But we got to think logistically here who we think is going to lead the team in receptions, yards, and touchdowns. So, Jamie, why don't you go ahead? We have made the decision when it comes. I think I speak for everyone, right? We're good to go. Okay. So, Jamie, go ahead and give us the predictions or the our picks for the wide receiver room.
Yeah, and like this could go honestly either way. You got Samir Hagens coming back. You got Queso. I mean, I expect Queso to make a huge step this year, but when we were looking at it, we looked at the transfers. The transfers coming in. We've heard they've been having big camps. We haven't been able to be at practice as much as what we used to be, obviously. So with receptions, with 55, we went with Cooper Barkate. How do you say that?
Barkate. Yep, just the way it's spelled. Barkate.
With 900 yards, 900 receiving yards, we went with Andrew Anthony. And this dude can fly. So if he stays healthy, I mean, you could see one of those things where he's, got 900 yards and he's averaging, 15 yards a catch or something crazy like that. And we also, with touchdowns, we also went with Andrew Anthony, the speedster, with 10.
Yeah, so Jamie, you mentioned the other two, right? And Samir and Queso. And then I think we also have to just mention the tight end room. I believe that last year Coach Brewer wanted to utilize the tight ends more, but as we all know, Northwestern game, you lose Jeremiah Hazley. Then later on in the season, you lose Nicky Dalmolin. Right after, he had that breakout game against Middle Tennessee that we were at, the game we were at in Nashville, Murfreesboro, had that 2-touchdown game and then, injury once again. So it'll be interesting. I mean, we finished the season last year with Jake Taylor as our starting tight end. He had a great game against Wake Forest, that last game of the season. But the tight end room is going to be interesting too. But I think Jamie you made the right point. If Andrew Anthony stays healthy, he's going to have a lot of yards. Cooper Barkate is going to have a ton of receptions. Like, they brought those two guys in, and this is nothing against Samir Hagens and Queso, because you guys know we love those guys. These guys were brought in to play. And I'm not going to go as far as to say wide receiver 1 and 2, but I mean, wide receiver 1 and 2. Like, that's kind of the reason they were brought in. And so, yeah, I think it's going to be interesting that once again, this is another one though, guys, where if you're filling out your bracket or your predictions, you can absolutely pick a different person than us and it make a ton of sense. And you could end up winning that one. No doubt.
And before I forget, for those of you who may be new to entering a prediction for the season, this is how we base it. You score a point if you get the person right. You score a point if you are the closest when it comes to the actual number receptions, touchdown, passing yards, etc. We will also have side bets coming up, yes or no, as well as a rundown of a top 5. So we'll get to it, just kind of highlighting that. So when you put it in, be sure to put in the person you think's going to lead as well as their number, because you could get 2 points on one category.
I will say,
Yeah,
talking about the
go
tight
ahead.
ends too, like just one other thing, like I think the one guy that gives me pause on the touchdowns, like is Landon King. Like he kind of made me look at that and be like, he could get some touchdowns in the red zone, like. And any of those guys in the tight end room can, because like Josh said, I mean, we're in a great situation receiving wise, whether it be tight ends or wide receivers. We're barring injury, obviously nobody wants to see that. We're in as good a situation as we've been in a couple of years, I'd say.
I think Marlon was agreeing with you there.
Yeah,
we heard him.
I mean, we're recording this on Monday, and social media team just released today, like a little fade route from Darian to Landon King, and he had a one-handed grab. And so, like, that's, we just got to, who knows? I will say, Brian, I think we're heading to the defensive side of the ball. Is that right?
Yeah, we're on the other side of the ball
before
now.
we head there real quick, let's, we're not necessarily doing systematic, season previews of the position groups. Honestly, there are a couple of other podcasts out there that have done that, and that's awesome. So like, go listen to those. But we do need to mention the offensive line. I mean, returning 4 starters on the offensive line, and it looks like Jordan Larson is going to be that 5th starter. He was a late transfer in, and so what you're looking at there is you're looking at a seasoned veteran line, right? I believe I can name them: Matt Craycraft, Brian Parker, Justin Pickett, and who am I missing? Bruno Fina. Sorry, shout out Bruno Fina. And now Jordan Larson. And so that's going to be the 5. And then behind that 5, you've got younger guys. You've got a couple of guys that have been in the system a little bit. You got your like Reagan McCraney. You got your like Ryan Daly that has made the shift over. You've got guys like that. You got Roman Fina, who's a true freshman. Some others that are going to be in the mix. It's going to be interesting, though. I believe Duke's success at O-line is really going to be about staying healthy if they want the older guys, to lead the way there. If we have injuries, we're going to be leaning on younger guys. But hey, just to remind Duke fans, 3 years ago, there was an older guy that got hurt by the name of Graham Barton. I believe it was the Notre Dame game. And this young guy by the name of Brian Parker started his first game against Notre Dame. And now Brian Parker's the household name. Brian Parker's the future top 3 round pick in the NFL. Brian Parker's Mr. PFF, right? So, it's got to happen at some point in time. So anyway, that's a little O-line preview. So.
All right.
Cool. We're going to the
All
defense.
Right. Yeah, let's go to the other side of the ball. So this is going to be another fun one. We're going to see who you think, we're going to give who we think is going to lead the team in interceptions, tackles, and sacks. Now, I will say, I believe interceptions and tackles last year, the person that led the team, none of us predicted. I could be wrong because I don't have the predictions up from last year, but it was very interesting to see. I think we all picked Trey Freeman to take tackles, and it was not Trey Freeman. We love Trey, don't get me wrong, but it's just that showed the next man up mentality of who Cam Bergeron, I believe, was the one that.
No, it was Ozzie. Ozzie.
That's right, Ozzie.
Yep. Ozzie Nicholas. Yep. And
Ozzie
it was between him and Alex Howard.
That's right.
And then Cam, I believe. Yep.
Interception, sacks, and tackles. So let's just each one of you take a category. Who wants to take interceptions, tackles, sacks? Interceptions.
I'll take interceptions.
All right, Scott, would you mind taking tackles? Jamie, you take sacks. Sounds good?
Okay. All right, cool. So on the interception side, there's 2 caveats I want to make here. It is undisputed. We all know and believe Chandler Rivers is the best player in that secondary. There is no doubt in our minds. He's a preseason All-American. He's a preseason All-ACC kid. This is by the way, this podcast is a Chandler Rivers podcast for this entire season, because Chandler Rivers could be I'll just tell you, Chandler Rivers could be at Penn State right now. Chandler Rivers could be at Notre Dame right now. Chandler Rivers could be at a number of different places right now. And Chandler Rivers is in Durham, North Carolina at Duke University. So shout out to Chandler Rivers. But because of the position that he plays at corner, because of the respect that he's going to get from opposing quarterbacks. We really do feel like the safety position is a little bit more equipped to lead the team in interceptions, right? Second caveat. We're not here to break any news. I don't think this is breaking news. Terry Moore is not playing the majority of this season. So I know Terry Moore, rightfully so, is getting a lot of like preseason watch lists and things like that. But I will say this, if we see Terry Moore for the last half of the season, that will mean that he has responded and gotten himself in game mode quicker than expected, right? So if he plays 6 games this year, I'll buy you a bag of Ruffles at the at a home game, right? So you hold me to that one. But anyway, so I think it's going to be more like 4 to 5 games is what I'm thinking, right? So taking Terry Moore out of that equation. So we're taking Chandler out because we feel like he's going to get the respect and he plays corner. We're going to take Terry out because he's not going to play as many games. So we're going with transfer, Sam Houston State, grew up playing middle school 7-on-7 against Chandler Rivers, Caleb Weaver. So Caleb Weaver has an incredible story. Kid walked on at Sam Houston State. And now here 4 years later, he was potentially the number 1 safety target in the portal, and Duke landed him. So shout out to the Duke coaching staff for getting him, Coach Patke, the rest of the defensive staff. Shout out to Chandler Rivers for doing some friend-to-friend recruitment on that one as well. But we're going Caleb Weaver, and we're going to go 4 interceptions for Caleb Weaver.
One thing I will say really quick, Scott, before I let you take tackles, the one thing in Terry Moore's favor is the schedule that Duke has for him to be able to come back in a reasonable amount of time. Now, he tore his ACL, correct?
I mean, he had a lower leg injury.
Okay,
yes.
yeah, we're not in the NHL,
Hey, I got more freedom. I have more freedom this year. I can,
yeah, exactly. So back in the day when Grandpa tore his ACL, it was a year recovery. These kids are coming back 5, 6, 7 months, and they look even better than they did before.
Hey, I'm not gonna read into this more, but I was at practice, 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, the only practice they've let us actually attend, and Micah Sahakian was walking around with no brace on. Yep. And I mean, he just tore his in spring practice. So, I'm not saying he's going to play. I don't think there's any. I think that's not even a chance. But I'm just saying it's crazy that 4 months later, he's walking around with no brace on. So
again, with Duke's schedule, and we'll get to that here in a minute. You could see, I think the 6 games for Terry Moore actually could line up with the way things fall. So, all right, Scott, get us into tackles. Who do we have leading the team?
All right. So obviously, since we already kind of had the conversation a few minutes ago, the last 2 seasons, the team has been led in tackles by our linebacker room. Shaka Hayward 2 years ago led the team. Last year, it was the 2 transfers that came in, and Howard and Solomon.
Nicholas.
I don't know where I got Solomon from.
I don't either. Javion Solomon's a freshman, but I don't know.
You had Bible study tonight?
Scott's been reading in the Song of Solomon a little bit.
Song of Solomon.
I'm telling you. Look, if that's the only mistake I make tonight, we're winning. I'm telling
that's
you.
That's not a mistake, Scott.
Hey, I've made like
that's not a
mistake.
mistake.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah, it happens. So we're going to go with Nick Morris. He was out most of the last season with an injury. We think he's going to be back this year. Obviously, he was ready to play. Probably could have played maybe, but I think they made the right decision on having him sit at the end of the season last year because no need to mess up your leg or do anything or whatever the injury was, mess it up any worse. So we're going to go with Nick Morris this year to lead Duke in tackles. We're going to go a little conservative because last 2 years it's been over 100, but with the defense that we have, I mean, we've got some players on this team, and we're not even going to hit all the names tonight of the guys we'll hit them in the next couple of weeks before we get to Elon. But there's some dudes on this defensive team, but we're going to go with Nick Morris for 92 tackles this season.
And also just remember, as you guys are doing yours, we also the stats that you see from like Go Duke and like all those ESPN and all those, they do count the bowl game. So we're not counting the bowl game. So just take that into consideration as well as you are putting in yours. And then Scott, to your point, the one guy I will mention, because Cam Bergeron, Brian, you said was third last year in tackles, I believe. I believe that's what we said. He was in the top. He was in the top. So his replacement is Jaden Francois. So just keep your eye on him in that. Yes, keep your eye on Jaden Francois and that hybrid safety linebacker, getting up there, getting in the backfield some type of guy as well. But I agree. I completely agree on Nick Morse.
I just saw this, so I want to have fun with it. Any of y'all want to guess what the season record is for tackles in a season by a Duke player?
Man, we've had some defenses that are just heavy with like one linebacker getting all the tackles. Would you say Scott 132?
132.
I'm gonna go 133.
131.
Y'all are off by 50 tackles.
Shut up.
Good Lord.
Mike Junkin, 188 in 1986.
Hey, listen,
Jeez.
that dude, that team, good grandma. That man. He was a man. He was a really good football player.
Well,
obviously they had no other football players on the field.
I mean, they were so bad back then.
Insane.
Yeah, Mike was on the field a lot. They went 4-7 and 2-5 in conference play, so that's why he padded his stats.
Yeah, the other team was running a lot of plays for sure.
So Mike was like, "Coach, put me in." just for kicks and giggles. Anyone want to guess interceptions? Now I'll give you all a hint. This is a record that is going to be approaching 80 years in the next few years.
I have no idea.
Okay, just get the number because obviously the name. Yeah,
10.
I'm gonna go 7.
Jamie.
I'll go 9.
Jamie on the nose, 9. George Skipworth in 1949.
He was on the tip of my tongue.
Wow.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. I think Peter Dodge knows him.
Couldn't think of his name.
Yeah, him and Peter were friends back in the day.
Yeah, exactly.
They went to elementary school together.
All right, Jamie, let's finish up defense with sacks. Who do we think is going to lead the team in sacks, and what's that number?
All right. I will say Duke is in another great situation this year. We have a great defensive line. It's another defensive line that Manny Diaz has brought in, and it's going to be just insane. And they're going to put a lot of pressure on the quarterbacks. And we could have went with Anthony. I mean, I could see him having a breakout year and leading the team in sacks. But we decided to go with Wesley Williams. He started. I believe we talked about this before we got on. He started with a sack and a half, correct? And then this last year he jumped up to 7.5.
Well, it depends on where you look. Go Duke says 8, and then other places say 7.5. So it depends. Maybe Duke gave him a half sack, But 7.5 to 8.
Wasn't it that state game where it was? I think that was the discrepancy, 7.5.
Yeah, I think I remember that now. Yeah, there was one of the games where like Duke credited him, but like ESPN didn't, or something like that. We went conservative, so 1.5 to 7.5.
So, and we decided to go with just assuming that Wesley Williams is going to make another jump here, which I think is a pretty safe assumption, barring, knock on wood, health. We went with 9.5 sacks for the year. So, and I could see this line producing just a ton of sacks.
Yeah, David Feely. I'll let you go, Scott. But David Feely, in the 5 minutes with Feely, he gave a huge shout out to Vincent Anthony Jr. III, as I like to call him. I actually had predicted him last year to lead the team in sacks. It's just a year off. So if he can compete with West, that'd be great. If West did go 9.5, folks, that would be the 5th best season on sacks in Duke football history. So we'd love to see that. Scott, what were you going to say?
Well, I'll say another name that has come up and been talked about, and was actually talked about in Manny's presser this afternoon, was Josiah Green. They talk about he's a monster. They said he's maybe the strongest man on the team coming in. So I'm telling you, this D line, it could be one of the best D lines Duke's ever had, from top to bottom. Just knowing the reputation of these guys, how they started to get to the point where Wes Williams, Anthony, those guys are having to see, Aaron Hall for that matter. Just the opportunity all these guys are going to have. I mean, 28th can't get here fast enough, is I guess the point I'm trying to make here.
Yeah, I mean, I have nothing to add to that. I mean, other than, I believe it's been talked about this D line can go 10 deep. I mean, you've got guys like Tyshawn Reed. You've got guys like Kevin O'Connor, who, look, low key, before Kevin O'Connor got hurt last year, he was getting a ton of snaps. And like he's like the guy just flies under the radar. But like anyway, I think there's a lot that we didn't even mention the crown jewel of the recruiting class and Bryce Davis, right? Who obviously is a true freshman. There's going to be a little bit of a curve there, learning curve, but he's going to get his opportunities. He's going to get his opportunities, no question.
For sure, I think August 28th, we're going to see a lot of Bryce Davis just to get snaps in and get the experience. All right, Josh, this one's for you. We're done with defense. Now we're going to the kicking game. This is the first time we've ever done this with our predictions. We're going to give some love to the Todd father himself, Todd Polino. We're going to do an over-under. So when you do this, you are going to determine whether or not Todd Polino is going to go over or under the number we set for number of extra points made, not field goals, extra points. So after doing our research and discussing it, we set the line at 40.5 extra points. So we think Duke will make at least over or under 40 touchdowns. So, Josh, this is your guy.
Remind us, Brian, what was last year's? Wasn't it 37, 36?
So in 13 games, and this is including the bowl game, so we got to take that.
But I mean, I think we only scored once.
It was 35 extra points made on 37 attempts. And I believe those two misses SMU. I hate to bring back up.
No, that was one extra point. The other one was a field goal in that game.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah. So I'm not sure where the other one was.
35 out of 37, almost 95% completion rate. So that's pretty good. But we're going to up it a little bit just because of the changes that have come with this Duke squad. So we're going to say over under 40.5. So if you go over, you think he's going to make 41 or more. If it's under, you think he's going to make 40 or less extra points for the season. So gauging by, I'm gonna say fourth year Todd's gonna go 100%. Right, I'm gonna give him that. He's not gonna miss one this year. His line that's blocking for him, when a snap, they're actually gonna make contact with the other team and not allow them to pirouette through the line and block an extra point or a field goal. By the way, all you people online, y'all know Todd's my boy, number one. Number two, for you to give him any sort of grief about that SMU field goal is ridiculous. If all you got to do is watch that thing back. Like, anyway, there's a couple of dudes on the offensive line we should be giving all the grief to. But anyway, it's all good. I'm going to say if he's going to go 100%, I believe the Duke offense is going to be better. The Duke offense is going to score more. Let's put it this way. If the Duke offense is not better, there's going to be a lot of griping going on, right? So Duke offense is going to be better. I'm going to go over. I believe he's going to hit the 41 or more on the extra points. And so that's basically a get it right or get it wrong question for you guys. So go over or under on the 40.5. We are taking the over. With the games that are in this season, we're going to need Todd to be at his A game. You've got your Clemsons, your Georgia Techs, your Chapel Hill Colleges, your Illinois, your Tulanes. So he's got to be producing. And Josh spoke for all of us. We all agreed. We think he will go over that 40.5. So a new one again, folks. If you think he goes over, great. If you think he goes under, great. Just that's the new one that we have this year. All right, probably my favorite one as far as category goes, and that's our overall record for the 2025 season. And then we have to say who we think we're going to defeat, and unfortunately, who we think we will lose to. So, gentlemen, let's start first with, and we haven't discussed this part. What do we think our record is going to be collectively? Now, Jamie, you stay muted. We're not going to go 12-0. So, we got to be realistic here. We're going up against the fans.
We're going to stay 11-1. I mean,
oh, okay.
Sorry.
Losing to Elon, right? And then winning out.
Yeah.
But okay, let's talk through this. I'll go through the schedule really quick. Open the season, first two games at home, Elon, Illinois. Then the grudge match down in Baton Rouge at Tulane. Come home to play NC State, so a rivalry game 4 games in. Then the road trip commences at Syracuse, at Cal, quick breather at home against Georgia Tech October 18th, at Clemson, at UConn, home to UVA, at Chapel Hill College, and, of course, in the season against Wake at home. So let's go through it really quick. Just off the top of your head, what do you see our numerical record as first? Jamie, you're unmuted, so you go ahead.
Wow.
So are we going to establish the record first, and then we'll say who we're going to lose to?
Yes. And
so
then
just give what you think the record will be.
All right. I'm going to go.
I'm writing them down too. So.
Honestly, I'm going to go 9-3 again.
Okay. 9-3.
I'm going to go 9-3 again. That's what I would say. Are we voting on this as a whole?
Yes, we're going to collectively get with an overall record, and then we're going to discuss who we win and lose against. Josh,
I would say 9-3.
Okay.
I mean, that was going to be my answer, so you can put me down for 9-3. I'm a 9-3, lean 10-2. Okay. I'm a 9-3, lean 10-2. So if two other people say 10-2, I'm down with that. I'm a 9-3.
Scott.
All right, I would say 9-3, and I would say worst case scenario 8-4.
Yeah, I was gonna go 8-4 just based off of the type of games that we've seen in the past few years. Those winnable games that Duke should have won, but for some reason they just couldn't win. Could be a different story with this team and this crew. I'm fine with 9-3. I was the sole person to go 8-4. So let's just say 9-3. Let's go ahead and put that in. If you can hear me typing, sorry about that. Do we want to go with our? Let's go with our 3 losses first, so that way then we can just get wins out of the way quickly. So, who wants to go first with who they think the 3 losses are going to be?
We'll go the obvious loss. We'll go Clemson. I think. I mean, here's the deal. They're going to be out for vengeance. I know that roster is turned over. Well, they don't have a ton of roster turnover there. There's going to be a lot of guys on that roster that were in Durham 2 years ago. 3 years. Has it been 3 years ago now?
23.
Oh, okay. So 2 years ago. Yeah. Dabo still remembers having to walk from the visitors' locker room 17 miles into Wallace Wade Stadium and complain about it. Honestly, I mean, they've seen the ACC network highlights in the offseason of the Duke students with 2 minutes to go in the game, already jumping over the stands, getting ready to storm the field. They're going to be out for blood, number one. Number two, they are also, in my opinion, going to be the vintage. I say vintage. The Clemson we have known over the last 15 years. They're going to be back in that mode this season. And if you could fly under the radar last year, what did they end up with, 10 wins or whatever? If you could fly under the radar, getting double-digit wins, they flew under the radar. So I'm going Clemson as a for sure loss.
Do we all agree with that? In Death Valley, November 1st, you're going to catch Clemson right when they're finely tuned. I agree with Josh. That is going to be a tall task to go down to Death Valley and beat Clemson. And they get it done, great, fantastic. But again, we're playing the game right now when it comes to season predictions. I'm unmuted, and this is where the other 2 losses are going to be tough because you have a lot of toss-ups. You could easily put Illinois because they're preseason anywhere from 13 to 15, I believe. But as we saw with Clemson a few years ago, if you catch a team early and they're still making adjustments and you've still got players trying to adjust to the playbook, you could catch a team that's ranked and you could defeat them. Now, that's a high noon game. Duke hasn't seen a high noon game in probably 3-4 years. Also Employee Day, so be ready for Human Being Day to go crazy, which is one of our side bets later. I'm going to say Illinois just based off of the facts that they looked good last year. From what I've heard, they did not lose a lot. They're kind of like Clemson, and they're looking to start the season off strong, non-conference wise, before they head into a tough Big Ten play. If anyone wants to go against me, that's completely fine. I'm just looking at the schedule, trying to find a game where if we looked at it right now, it would be a loss. So Jamie's with me. Scott, Josh.
I gave you the thumbs down.
No, Jamie's against me.
I think Duke beats Illinois in front of a raucous, sold out Human Being Day.
I'm fine with that.
Crowd.
Listen, a Wallace Wade crowd full of people that work at Duke that have not seen a Duke football game since last year when they invited the employees to the Duke football game.
In all seriousness, I can agree with Brian, but I could see Duke winning that game. I mean, it's possible, but I mean, I can concede that that's one of our 3 losses.
Okay, so let's just all unmute, Josh. Unmute as well.
I would say this part real fast. Look, it's going to be 1,000 degrees. The Illinois folks and the team are going to have the vapors because this doesn't get this hot in Illinois no matter what time of year it is. I think that's going to be an advantage for Duke.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, Brian, you actually already said it too. I think a big key in this, and I'm not going against it. I think logically looking at the schedule, I don't think you're wrong. But I do think catching them on week 2 instead of week 4 or 5 is a win for Duke. I say a win, a good thing for Duke. But they are really good. I mean, you don't get ranked. I think I saw them in one poll as high as 12. That could have been like an on-3 poll.
No,
or
you're
something,
right.
But
It was, but I was seeing more 13 to 15 as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
The preseason AP poll has them at 12.
Okay.
At 12.
There
Okay,
you go.
so
I believe.
So you got to trust that. I mean, if you look at that historically, like last year, that would have been like Miami, I think, started the year at like 12. And we saw how good they were last year, right? So, I'm with you. I just think I think the chance that Duke has to win is the fact
Greater
that
than-
it's week 2.
It's greater than if we caught them like a Clemson down the road in November.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. But I think we can all agree that will be, if we're going to do 3 losses, I'm good with that. I think the opinionated part's going to come out on the 3rd loss. We're going to see what people think about the 3rd loss. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So just so I'm clear, we're putting Illinois for the loss, or are we putting them as a win?
I think we're putting them for the loss.
Loss?
I think at least me, you, and Jamie say that, and if we overrule Scott,
Scott don't matter.
I think Duke's going to win the game because of the heat and humidity, but that's just me.
Is your medical room ready? That's my question.
Listen, the plus side for me is it's a 12 o'clock kickoff, so I will be Gatorading all week that week, so we should be good to go.
Well, why don't you unmute? Why don't you tell us who you think Duke's 3rd loss would be then, and then we'll go from there. That's
actually, Scott. No, here's the way to do it, Scott. If you so we're going to go Illinois, but if you were saying not Illinois and you said 9-3, so give us the 2 options in your mind of the other 2 losses, and we'll discuss.
The obvious one would be Georgia Tech, because Georgia Tech is going to be good. I mean, they basically have the same team, and they've got some better key players through the portal and things like that. So that to me would be an obvious one, even if it is in Durham. It doesn't matter. Y'all may think I'm crazy, and that's okay, because I do 9 of 10 times. I think there's a chance Duke loses at Syracuse. Syracuse is going to be good, and I don't know. That place is a crap hole anyway. The little air conditioned vendor, whatever they call that crappy dome up there. I mean, their coach is good. The coach is crazy as I'll get out too, but he's got a good team. And the man does not take showers when they lose. So, I mean, they want my man not to stink. So they're going to want them to win. And I think with being Duke, I think there's a chance that they'll have a pretty good crowd there for the game. The only other one, and this, again, call me crazy, I think Cal possibly, and the only reason I say Cal, depending on what happens in the Syracuse game, because this is the 4 loss, if we went the 4 loss thing. What happens in the Syracuse game, and then the fact that you got to travel all the way across the country to play. Now, I'm going to assume, and I did not pay attention to this because we didn't have to do this last year. I would assume it's probably going to be a 6 to 7 p.m. kickoff our time. So we're talking 2, 3 in the afternoon in California, down there on the left coast. I don't know. I mean, Cal shouldn't be that good. They lost enough players in the transfer portal that I think Duke should beat them. But and also the flip side of that, I can't see Duke losing back to back. I just don't think Manny's going to let it happen unless, Lord forbid, something goes wrong with the injury bug. So those are the 3 to me. The other 3, if we were to have 4 losses.
Looking at what I just saw, I think we should take the Georgia Tech game off, and here's why. Duke has that ridiculous away, bye week, Georgia Tech, bye week, away. Georgia Tech has to play the week before against Virginia Tech, I think at Virginia Tech, and I might be wrong on that. Let me just double. No, it's at home in Atlanta, but still, they have to play a game. Duke gets the week off before the Georgia Tech game to prepare even more. And if you remember, a certain former coach at Georgia Tech used to hate that because it always seemed like Duke would get the bye week before the Georgia Tech game. that's where I'm at with Georgia Tech, because that gives Duke another week to prepare. I understand what you're saying about Syracuse. It seems Syracuse last year, they came on strong. Haven't heard really them losing a lot of folks in the portal. That could potentially be a game where, yes, one of those games that I said Duke goes in expecting to win, something happens, they don't get the win, and it kind of throws things off for a little bit.
They did lose their number one wide receiver in the portal. I do know that much. But still,
I'm
like
still
you just
going to
said.
make the case for Georgia Tech, and here's why. They didn't lose guys in the portal like anybody that I know of significantly. Haynes King played hurt basically the entire season last season. I mean, he didn't even play a couple of games, and I think there that freshman, whoever he was, like he ran the ball literally like every play. Like they didn't even throw him, and they still beat us 24-14. And Haynes King wasn't at his best. And here's the deal: I think we all have mad respect for Tyler Santucci and the defense at Georgia Tech. So, I mean, I am not anti saying, that we choose between Syracuse and Georgia Tech, because I like the Syracuse pick, Scott. I think there's a little bit of a look ahead because they know they've got that. I believe the plan is they're going to leave a day early for Cal than what they would typically go. And so, like, there's already that. Like, they already know they're going to have a quick turnaround. I think there could be a little bit there. Like, Syracuse could sneak up and bite us. So, I think choosing between Georgia Tech and Syracuse is the way to go. And I don't care which one we choose.
Well, let's just put it to the vote. That'd be the easiest way, as long as it's not 2-2.
I say Georgia Tech.
I say Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech it is.
I'm going to say Georgia Tech too.
I was going to say I saw you nodding, Scott. So let's just say GT.
Hey, God, you know what I love about that? We talked about losing, and we did not bring up Wake Forest, NC State, or UNC. So hey,
and
that just tells you a little bit about a side bet we're about to have.
Sorry, I've never heard of them. Who are they? Who are those,
y'all are going to think
girls you're talking about?
Y'all are going to think I'm crazy with what I'm about to say, but I've watched this happen the last 2 years. A team that if Duke does not come in ready to play, that could potentially give them a run for their money. I'm not saying beat them, but could go close with them. UConn at UConn, November 8th. I mean, I can't remember who they played last year late in the season, but whoever it was, that team traveled up to East Hartford, and UConn, I think, beat them.
Well, UConn ended up being a decent team last year too, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
we played them early.
Yeah, they started off really slow, and then they came hot at the end of the season. So if Duke's not ready, especially the week after the Clemson game, they've got to be prepared to head up to East Hartford. So,
yep.
All right, we got to get through side bets, and these are some fun ones. This is something that we always enjoy. We did it individually, and now we're doing it collective as a team with the Section 17 podcast. So we will get things rolling, and this one actually was from Josh. He asked this right before we started recording, so let's get rolling with this. Other than employee/human being day against Illinois, the second game of the season, there will or will not be another announced sellout game at Wallace Wade for the rest of the season. Now, just to let y'all know again, home games are Elon, NC State, GT, UVA, other than Illinois. What do we think, fellas?
I think yes. I think yes, because I think NC State. Yep. NC State's the easy one to say.
NC State is definitely the thing. I'll say about NC State. Last year there was a student break. There was some sort of fall break the week that we played, or it was 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago. Like the NC State game was on that fall break. I think the NC State game is the one. If it's going to happen, it's going to be the NC State. It's definitely not going to be the Wake Forest game because I think that's Thanksgiving weekend.
Depending on what our records are, it could be Georgia Tech.
That's what I was saying before we recorded. So, let's say Georgia Tech, Duke both come in 5-1, potentially could have a sellout game.
Because overall, yes. I mean, I think we have another sellout other than.
Okay. I'm with you on that.
All right, yeah.
Okay. All right. Here's our next one. Duke will finish a month undefeated. Now, we are not including the Elon game because that's one game at the end of August. Nice try. That'd be like if I was doing this. We are going September, October, November. And I think we were divided on this one as we were discussing it. So let's just put it out there. Again, 5 games in September, only 2 games in October for Duke, Cal, and Georgia Tech, and then 5 games in November. Fellas, what do we think here?
No.
No.
I mean, if we stay consistent, we have to say no.
If we stay with our record,
Because we've got Illinois, which is a September loss. We have Georgia Tech, which is October loss, and we have Clemson, which is a November loss. So we
I just want to buck the trend, though.
the one that could be, though, is the one you were talked about before we came on air, Brian, was October with only being 2 games. So, I mean, it is possible. But we did pick Duke to lose to Georgia Tech.
I know, but I'm just thinking out loud point wise, just kind of like.
Well, we could be hedging our bets, right, and be like, okay, well, let's take this one as a yes because we really want to beat Georgia Tech. But anyway,
because there are going to be some folks that do that. They're going to be like, yes, no, I know I said this, but I'm going to go that.
In the past, we've done that.
Yes, we have.
I mean, I know I've hedged my bets multiple times on these bonus picks.
I personally think if Duke catches fire at the right time, they could easily go undefeated in October. Going to Cal, they should beat a down Cal team, and then with the extra week to prepare for Georgia Tech, I think they beat Georgia Tech.
Well, if Haynes King is not healthy and Georgia Tech trots a quarterback out there that can't throw the football, then I mean that completely changes things. So
what do we want to say? All jokes aside, do we want to go yes or no? I mean, whatever the majority
we
rules.
Want to bet, or do we want to stay consistent? What do you think, Scott? Say no. All right, well, I'm with Scott. We'll
all right. It was already typed in as no. We'll keep it as no. Okay, this one was opposite of last year. Instead of Duke having a winning record at away, do we think Duke will have a winning record at home this year?
Well, we'd have to hedge the bet here because we all said Georgia Tech would be the loss.
Yeah,
just a winning record. Just a winning record, not undefeated.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I missed
winning record.
Yes.
So that's a yes.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, now we're getting to the fun part, the nitty-gritty. Duke will finish in the top 5 of the ACC.
I mean, I will just go on the record to say that I picked Duke to finish in the top 5 in my media vote. I believe the big dog himself, Scott Medlin, did the same. Did anyone else vote in that?
I think Tyler did, but I can't remember what he did.
I would say I'm gonna say yes. I'd say they finished 5th.
Yeah, looking at
Jamie, don't give it away. We're about to do that.
Oh, my bad.
Jamie. I mean, if we're being honest, the ACC slate that we have this year favors Duke very well. You're not playing Miami. You're not playing Louisville. You're not playing SMU. And those are
not playing Florida State, who could bounce back.
Exactly. So we are playing some teams that are kind of rebuilding as well. So I see them finishing top 5 for sure because and we talked about this before we started the recording. It always seems that there's that one team that no one projected to finish in the top 5, finish in the top 5. We saw it like, who was it last year? 2 years ago, it was Louisville.
SMU.
Oh, yeah, SMU. Yeah.
Went to the championship game.
That's right, because had we beaten them, we probably would have been us. Anyway, so yes, we do think top 5. Yeah, too soon. Yeah. Top 5.
Yeah, we'll go, yeah.
Okay, bringing this one back from last year just because we had fun with it. I think we already know the answer to this. Duke will continue to have a winning record against in-state opponents. Again, Elon, UNC, Wake Forest, NC State. We good?
Yes.
Undefeated.
Yes.
Easy dub.
Undefeated.
So 8-0 in the last 2 years.
That's right.
All right.
Back-to-back state champs.
Yep.
Come at us, bro. Come at us, Bill.
Yeah. Gonna keep that smoking pig trophy, which was awesome, by the way.
No, you mean come at us, Jordan. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Jordan. All right. And we alluded to this earlier. Who do you think is going to finish top 5 in the ACC? We were all over the place last year, and it was so funny to see some of the guesses. But hey, that's the beauty of doing predictions because you go off of your gut and what you think. I think all of us have picked Florida State first
I was hardcore Florida State number 1. Yeah,
and NC State. Some of us had NC State.
I had them second.
I mean, wasn't everybody kind of like all over Florida State last year? I mean,
and then everybody was high on NC State too because of the transfer portal. They evidently they thought they landed Grayson McCall, and then he got hurt, and then their whole offensive line were all like 5th or 6th year guys, and so anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, so here's the way we're going to do it, right, Brian? We know we are very confident in 1 and 5, and then we're going to kind of talk ourselves through 2, 3, 4.
4 and 5. I think
1,
2 and
4.
3.
Yeah. I think so. You're
So
right.
let's just knock out. I'll knock out who we have determined before we started recording who we think is going to finish first, fourth, and fifth. We're going with Clemson, barring a catastrophic setback of injuries or, God forbid, they have a Georgia to where folks don't know how to drive cars and drink alcohol at the same time. We see Clemson.
Wait a minute. They don't know how to, so they need to learn how to do that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Or it could
I'm
be
saying
just
if they do it the
drink
Georgia
alcohol.
way, yeah, if they do it the Georgia
It's
way,
true. It's true.
okay.
Some of those AI, by the way, some of the AI Instagram reels
Yeah.
about like Georgia players getting interviewed are
That's bad. Yeah.
epic.
But by the way,
They're epic.
if any police officers are listening, I don't agree with what Brian just
Yeah,
said.
we are the three of us, me, Scott, and Jamie are a no on that. We're a no.
My brother-in-law is in law enforcement, so he'll hopefully look out for me. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, Clemson, we've got it first. We have Duke finishing fifth. Again, I think with the slate of ACC opponents Duke has, it's very doable for Duke. But we're playing the game here. Predictions. We think they'll finish fifth. We've got Miami finishing fourth. Even though Carson Beck went to Miami, there's still a lot of questions, unknowns. Will he actually be able to perform down in Coral Gables? Exactly. The elbow as well. Second and third is where we were kind of debating, and so we're going to talk about it a little bit before we wrap this up. We've got either SMU or Georgia Tech between second and third. Now, as we stated just a few minutes ago, SMU was the surprise team last year. We don't think that. We think they're going to stay in the top 5. Georgia Tech is the team where they could be really good with everyone coming back, or it could be another Florida State story. We just don't know. So let's talk through this one really quick so we can get our second and third place and finish the predictions for this year. Who wants to go?
I mean, they bring back Kevin Jennings
Yes.
at quarterback. SMU spent a load of money last year. They spent another load of money this year. I have no reason to think they're going to drop off. I will say it would be interesting, Brian. You may have it in front of you or be able to pull it quickly. Like, do they play, Louisville, Clemson, Miami? Do they have that gauntlet kind of a schedule? Because I think last year they had a pretty favorable one.
Okay, so here's SMU. They play Syracuse, Stanford, Clemson, Miami, Louisville. Yes.
Ooh, okay, so that's going to help me decide. I'm going to go Georgia Tech at 2. And you guys can feel free to.
No, I kind of agree with that. I mean, if you look at Georgia Tech's schedule, theirs is not. I mean, they play Clemson early. We talked about that before we got on the pod once again. They play Clemson early, but then after that, they're.
Yeah, Georgia Tech. I mean, it's pretty cake for them for ACC play. You've got Wake Forest, Clemson, VT, of course, Duke, Syracuse State, Boston College, Pitt. Yeah, that's their ACC schedule. So I think that might help us.
I think Georgia Tech could possibly only lose 1 or 2 ACC games.
Yeah. Of course, honestly, we have ourselves, by the way, just to stay consistent, we have Duke only losing 2 ACC games and finishing 5th. So that's a little inconsistent. If we lose 2 games, we're going to finish 3rd or 4th.
Yeah.
I think Georgia Tech could potentially just lose to 1 ACC game. I mean, just Clemson. Yeah. And they do get Clemson in Atlanta, but I think they lose. I believe they lose that game.
Yeah, and that game is in Bobby Dodd, not at the Mercedes-Benz Dome. So it's not
that place is going to be
home game.
That place is going to be rocking, man.
Yeah. So go ahead, Scott.
I was going to say, for me, it's simple. You take the buzz over the Billy Bobs with the cash, the ponies.
Well, one honorable mention. Absolutely, Louisville is the next. Louisville's the next team. So, like, just stating the obvious there. Louisville could finish 4th. Miami could not be in there. Honestly, Duke could. All those types of things. I think Louisville is the 6th team in the discussion. So anyway, just in fairness.
And Louisville plays SMU, Clemson, Miami, and Georgia Tech. Do they play Georgia Tech? No, they don't. That's right. We just talked about that. Miami, Clemson, SMU. So, yeah, they've got a tough ACC schedule as well. just with those three. If you lose those 3 games as a team, you're,
Yeah.
more than likely out of the top 5.
So we're going Clemson 1, we're going Georgia Tech 2, we're going SMU 3, Miami 4, Duke 5.
You got it.
Cool. We got to get rolling.
All right. So those are our predictions. Josh, are we going to put our predictions up for folks to look at and kind of guesstimate, or they'll just have to listen
They
to
probably
or
need
watch
to
the
listen to the
episode?
podcast.
There
You
you
got to watch
go.
the podcast, man.
Yeah, so we'll have that up. Typically what we do is we keep that up until game day for the first game. Just a reminder, the Elon game is a day earlier this year. It is on August 28th, which is a Thursday. So you have to have your entries in by Thursday, August 28th. Now, before we wrap up shop, we got some more stuff to discuss as we get closer to the actual season opening episode of the Duke Football Talk Section 17 podcast. If you've been watching our socials in the last few days, we teased something over the weekend. I've got that thing with me right here. I'm going to bring it up really quick. This right here is the box that you saw in the video. I'm backstage. Now I'm back. Here's the box.
There we go.
Now you may be wondering, Brian, what is this box that you guys were promoting? Well, as you saw, I spoke with Chris Woolsey and the equipment staff. You can get me off now. You can go back to the 4 triangles. There you go. Get me off. They have done a collaboration box with us for the 2025 season. So thanks to Wools and Wes for contributing to this box. They gave us enough apparel that is team issued for us to do giveaways for the entire season. So it's something different than what we've done in years past. So, folks, when I say that they did not have to do this, but they did out of the goodness of their hearts. So thank you again to Wes and Wools for doing this. So every week, we will be giving away a certain apparel, and I'm going to open the box and show you a few examples. I'll even show you what week 1's going to be.
Yeah, I was going to say we're gonna kind of tier it a little bit, right? Like
Yep.
our big UNC game's going to get like a pretty legit thing.
Yep.
So yeah.
We've got some premium games, and again, I want to go through. I believe we picked 3 or 4 games to where we're going to double up the merchandise. So just be on the lookout for those, and we'll take photos and everything. Tyler, our producer, he's going to get some photos in, and we'll try to put them on our website. We're working on that. But for week 1, and let's just go ahead and get it out of the way, you have an official team issued Duke hat. It doesn't say football on it. The size is medium large. So if you've got a bigger head, you might want to give it away to a family member who yeah, I can't wear it. This is large, extra large. I can't wear this size. So this will be based off the score predictions. So in the past, we used to have a Facebook winner, we used to have an Instagram winner, we used to have a Twitter winner. We're combining it all this year. There will be 1 winner total every week on the score predictions. If we have multiple people that guess the same score, then we're going to spin a wheel, or we're just going to randomly pick a winner. So be on the lookout. We've got, you know what, guys? I'm going to do one more.
Go ahead, Brian. Let's tease it. Here, we're going to put you back up, dog.
Put me back on. Now, I don't know what week this is, so don't reach out to us and ask. But look at this long sleeve Blue Devil. Well, I don't even know what you would call this. It's not really a sweatshirt. It's like I don't know.
It's like a long sleeve tee. It's like a dry fit, right? It's a dry fit.
Yeah, long sleeve t-shirt.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
So this is probably going to be one of the bigger games because this is, folks, this is very nice.
Does it happen to have the amount on that tag? I don't know if this is team issued. I don't know if it does.
No amount. If you really wanted to look it up, you probably could.
Yeah, it's probably $50, $60.
I would say
At
higher
least.
than that, but yeah,
It might be.
At
Yeah.
least.
I might be living pre-inflation.
Yeah. And I will say 1 entry per person. I don't want to have someone entering 20 scores to try to win this thing. We got to be fair to everyone. And before I forget, fellas, we almost forgot. What does the season prediction winner get?
Oh, hey, Brian, what does the season prediction winner get?
Hey, Josh, look at this bad boy. This is one of the sweatshirts that the coaches wore last season on the sidelines.
Yeah, that's
blue with the blue arms. This is great.
That's $100
easily.
Easy 100.
So this is your season prediction winner. So if you want a chance at winning this for free, no charge to you, you have got to enter your predictions before the Elon game. So again, I know I keep saying it, but I'm going to say it again. Thanks to the equipment staff for contributing to the collaboration box. We will have even more details as we get closer to the Elon game. Did I forget something else, Josh?
No, you're good. I
Okay.
think we're going to shout them out every week.
Yep.
And then also, by the way, the sizes they gave us are the sizes that they are. So like, there's no switching out. So
Yes.
that just is what it is. Beggars can't be choosers. It's free.
Extra
Extra large. Is that what
large across the board, other
Okay.
hats. We wanted to get as much as we could. That's what they had excess
Extra?
of.
Yeah.
Yep, extra large. So if you can't wear it, give it to your wife, your cousin, your son, your brother, your father. Great Christmas gifts, because
Yep.
we will be doing giveaways for the regular season. For the regular season, we will be doing giveaways. Hopefully, if we go to a bowl game, we can have something else as well. But yeah, shout out them. We have that. We have another giveaway. I don't know.
We do. So should we
you-
say it? Because
Why
I'm
not?
going to put it out like Wednesday, Thursday this week sometime.
Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
So the giveaway, I wish I had it with me. It's upstairs. At ACC Media Day, we got the hookup. We bought a real PS5 college football 26 game. And we had the incredible digital team at Duke that put out the Duke edition graphic, who sent us the graphic. Shout out, Brent. And we have got that autographed by Chandler Rivers, Wes Williams, Darian Mensah, and Manny Diaz. And so they have autographed it. We have video evidence of them autographing it.
We also have
we win?
BP2.
Oh, that's
Brian
right.
Parker.
Brian Parker. How did I forget Brian Parker? I'm really sorry. And Brian Parker. All of those guys signed that. And so we're going to be doing a social media giveaway for that one. You're going to have to like, retweet, reply, all that kind of stuff. But we're going to give that away. So you get the real game, and then you get the Duke. That's a one of a kind. That does not exist anywhere else, anywhere. So you're going to get, you will have the Duke edition EA Sports.
If I like,
Football
retweet,
26.
and reply, I'm entered.
You are not entered.
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah.
You're
Well,
not entered.
boy-
that goes
boys
against
were
company
prohibited.
policy.
there you go.
Yeah.
Well,
But that's cool. And then we
great
are also
giveaways.
dropping another video. Brian, do you want to, since we're giving away the secrets, what's the behind the scenes video that's about to drop? So we've done. So wait, just to recap, we've done equipment staff with Woolsey. We've done a Feely, 5 minutes with Feely
right, for this year.
Right?
Yes,
for this
correct.
year. Yeah, I'm talking about for this year. So there's one elephant in the room that Duke fans may or may not have ever in the short history of this, they've probably never toured. Go ahead.
Yeah, it is not open to the general public. If you walk by the Yo, you could possibly see a smattering of it, but we were able to go behind the scenes and look at the players only lounge in the Yo, a place of refuge for the guys during the week as they prepare for classes, as they're in between classes and practice, just a refuge for them to get away from it all and just be themselves and enjoy life. We went through the entire players lounge with some special guests. I'm not going to say who. You'll just have to watch the video and see. But Tyler and myself, we had a great time with a couple of players and got some insights that no one else would have brought being behind the scenes. So we have tried to bring you everything from the equipment room to the workout room to the grounds crew that get the field ready. So this is one of the last pieces of the puzzle that the average fan cannot see unless their son or nephew or whoever's a recruit coming in to see it. So
that's the other thing about that Yo,
Yeah.
third floor of the Yo. It's just a big recruiting area.
Yes.
That's where they host a lot of recruits. So
so that's coming out sometime next week. So be on the lookout for it to drop on YouTube. And I know we were discussing everything. If you're listening to the podcast, you obviously can't see everything that I put up in front of the camera as far as the giveaway. You're just going to have to watch YouTube to see exactly what it is that we're giving away this season. So I think that's it, fellas.
That's
I think
it.
we're done.
Let me just say this, guys. We've gone an hour and we're going to be close to an hour and 20 minutes. A couple of the things that we've discussed that we're going to do moving forward, we're going to make our episodes more concise. And I know it's wild to say that on an episode that we went over an hour, But our goal this year is to not go over an hour. We want you guys to have a more concise watch viewership and listener week. So we want to cap it at an hour. We are going to bring you some different things. We're going to take a couple of our segments that we've been doing in the pod, and we're going to just take them to social media. And then we're going to have more time to talk X's and O's. We're going to really focus. We're going to have a little focus segment on the offense, a focus segment on the defense after each game, and really kind of dig into that. And we're crossing our fingers, potentially having some former player perspective, like quick hitters, not long, but some former player perspective on games, if they watch the game, what their feedback is on that as well. So we're trying to up our game while also keeping it more concise. And so if that makes sense.
A new segment that we will be debuting. We still haven't worked out the exact name of it, but every week one of us is going to go on a little bit of a tirade about something that could have happened in the Duke game, could have happened in college football. It could be any football related.
2-minute tirade.
2-minute tirade. You get the 2-minute warning. We give you the 2-minute tirade.
Could have happened on I-95 in Jacksonville.
If we include the NFL, Jamie would have a 2-minute tirade every week discussing the Panthers game. So we're not including the NFL with the 2-minute tirade. We're going to keep this college football and college football only.
Yeah, that's gonna be a whole lot of fun. And we'll just tell you, we're moving the tail of the tape, and this week in Duke football history, we're moving that to social media. So you'll still be seeing those things, but we're going to give some brief quick hitters on social media, and we feel like that's going to be. You guys will be able to still see it and share it if you'd like, and it'll be a way to keep our weekly pods a little bit more concise.
I will still bring a did you know before we close out every episode, something very quickly. So not maybe old Tudor will come back. Big Tudor.
Yep,
remember
Big
that
Tudor. One of the best.
Yeah. Well,
so that's awesome, guys. I think we're good. Other than following us, make sure you follow us. YouTube, please go to YouTube and subscribe. We'd like to hit 1,000 subscribers as quickly as possible. So if you can please subscribe on YouTube, that would be awesome. Share this. We're social media. We're at Duke FB Talk on all everywhere. Going to get back and active on TikTok. And so we got some other new things coming, guys. We actually have a really huge kind of announcement that's going to come a little bit later on as we get going throughout the football season. So, Brian, are you ready to take us out of here, man?
Oh, yeah, I am. Sorry.
What were you doing there?
I was just covering up something.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
What? So we're off and running. 2025 season podcast-wise is underway. Now, there won't be an episode next week as we get ready for Elon, but again, be on the lookout for the behind-the-scenes video of the Players Lounge with our special guest. But that'll do it for this episode of the predictions. Be sure to get your predictions in before the Elon game Thursday, August 28th. But that will do it for us. For Josh Cox, for Scott Medlin, for Jamie Holton, producer Tyler Witt, I'm your host, Brian Kennedy, and this has been another episode of the Duke Football Talk Section 17 podcast.